an amateur chef. I am so excited to start sharing some of my family's favorite healthy dessert recipes with you guys. Today I'm going to be making some of the best brownies ever without butter, eggs, white sugar, or flour. Now I know what you're thinking, Abby, those are the 4 main food groups. But rest assured, these desserts are healthy and very delicious. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is wash my hands, always. And now I'm going to put my hair up. BRB. Okay, so next I'm going to be melting 1/4 cup of coconut oil. We use the Anna brand. And I'm going to be melting it in the microwave. Just for about 30 seconds so it can get really nice and hot and melted. Even though it already is liquid, we want it to be able to melt the chocolate chips. Okay, and while this is melting, now that the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to be measuring 1 cup of my chocolate chips, dark chocolate. These are free from peanuts, tree nuts, egg, milk, wheat, soy, fish, and shellfish. So very allergen friendly. I'm going to be measuring 1 cup. Okay, and we have a little bit left for snacking. Now I'm going to be melting the chocolate chips by pouring the hot coconut oil over. I'm going to use a mini spatula. Just to get those chocolate chips melted. Okay, so I had to melt my chocolate in the microwave for a little bit because the oil wasn't hot enough. And if you ever have to melt chocolate in the microwave, make sure to go slow and stir frequently. I usually do about 10 to 15 second intervals so the chocolate doesn't burn. Alright, so our next step is going to be measuring 1 cup of sour cream and adding it to our nice and glossy chocolate. Okay, 1 cup of sour cream. Which I know sounds really gross right now, but it's going to make the brownies nice and fudgy and moist. And it really incorporates with the chocolate really well. I'm going to use my spatula to get all that sour cream on. Every bit counts. Okay. Now you're just going to nice and fold that in. Okay, so this is the texture of mine currently with the sour cream in, and I know it looks really gross right now, but I promise it will end up delicious. Okay, so for the next step, I will be measuring 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract into the sour cream chocolate mixture. The vanilla really just enhances the flavor. So now your texture should resemble sort of a heavy mousse. Now we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. All right. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And now we're going to be adding the brown sugar. I'll be measuring 1/2 cup, and you really want to pack it in there. Okay, so I switched out my little mini spatula for a big one because now it's getting a little bit harder to stir. Your mixture should still be nice and smooth and look a little bit like a frosting. Okay, so now I'm going to be adding 3/4 cup of oat flour. I blended it up and made sure it was really nice and fine like real flour. I'm just going to add it in nice and slow. Measure. Mix it in a little bit at a time. Now I'm going to be adding the remaining 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. Okay, I know it looks really thick right now and not usually like usual brownie batter where it's nice and runny and smooth, but I promise this is going to turn out okay and it's supposed to be super thick. So, I'm going to take my greased 8x8 pan. Now it's time for the brownies to go in the oven. I'm baking them for 28 to 32 minutes at 350 degrees. Now that the brownies are in the oven, we can get started on our frosting. In this bowl, I have 1/2 cup of mini chocolate chips, and I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of almond milk. I prefer the vanilla almond milk because it adds a little bit of flavor to our frosting. Now I'm going to be melting it in the microwave, and like I said before, make sure to stir frequently and do only 15-second intervals. I love how this recipe says optional frosting, like hell yeah, I'm making the frosting. You can be the judge of how thick or how thin you want your frosting to be. I'm going to refrigerate mine in the fridge while I'm waiting for the brownies to cool, just so it thickens up a little bit more. I like my frosting really thick. These are the finished brownies. I got about 16 out of them. They're really messy, but they are so delicious and healthy. I'll have the